Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Michelle. This is Michelle Reads YA, and today, before I do all of my end of the year videos, I just need to pop something in here. So I found the DNF tag on someone's channel, and I will try to find the original creator and of course put them down below. Definitely do that. But I wanted to do the DNF tag and just have kind of a discussion about DNFing books, because I know it's still kind of like controversial in the book community. So I just thought it would be a fun thing to do before I have to go and research all the books I read in 2020 and figure out stuff. So let's get to it. There's not many questions. I was not tagged by anyone. I probably will not tag anyone. I usually don't. So if you DNF books and think this tag is fun, definitely do it. But let's just get to the questions. The first question is, do you DNF? And the answer is yes. I started DNFing books probably 2 years ago, and I was not always a DNFer, but I definitely am now. If you are new here, DNFing means did not finish or do not finish, not finishing books. So I am a big advocate for DNFing books, and that is because there are just way too many books out in the universe that I would like to read, and not all books are good, in my opinion. So I'm not going to waste time reading a book that is not good. I used to do that. It is not a good time. So yes, I DNF books, and I wish it were way less controversial than it was. I used to be one of those people that were like, oh my god, you don't finish a book? That's so mean or rude or lazy. But now I'm the complete opposite, and I think it is okay, acceptable, and you can do whatever you want when you're reading a book. So that's my answer for that. Yes, I DNF books, and you should too. The next question is, if you DNF a book, does it count towards books read for the month? Yes, it does. This is also controversial. I do it mostly because I try to get at least 100 pages into a book before I decide to DNF, and I think that for the most part is a large majority of a book. Also, I put it in my Goodreads read because I want to talk about it for my monthly wrap up, and if I don't put it in my read, I will forget about it. And yeah, now the difference is that I do not rate books that I DNF, but I put it as read. I think that's okay. You can do whatever you want, but technically I read the book, so it's going into Goodreads as read. Okay. The next question is there a difference between DNF and just putting it down for a bit? And for me, yes, but it depends on the book. So there is one book in particular that this definitely relates to, and about a year ago, 2 years ago, I know I read it, I officially read it last year, but I put down Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine and was going to unhaul it. It was in an unhaul video, and I remember being like, I don't think I can do it. So I technically DNF'd it, but kept it on my shelves. Normally when I DNF, I am just like, goodbye, it goes into a box that I am going to sell books for. So, but this one was different. I am a mood reader, and I just was not in the mood for whatever this book was about. But for some reason, about a year after I put it down, I was in the mood, and I ended up giving it 5 stars. So yes, it depends on the book for me. It depends on what mood I'm in. But for the most part, if I DNF a book, it's DNF'd forever. So it honestly just depends on the book. It depends on what mood I'm in. I don't know. There's a science behind it probably, but who knows? Question number 4 is, what popular book have you DNF'd? I don't know. So many. I try now, especially, to pick up books and purchase books and read books that I think I'm going to like, so I don't have to DNF. But there's always a possibility that I'm not going to like it. So a popular book recently that I DNF'd, let me look at my Goodreads. The last book that I DNF'd was A Beautifully Foolish Endeavor by Hank Green, and I don't necessarily think that's popular, but it's what I DNF'd recently, so I'm gonna say that. But I will say I have gotten so much better at just like picking out books that I think I'm going to like, because otherwise what's the point? Like, I know I don't like fantasy and I don't like science fiction, so I'm not going out of my way to pick them up if I know I'm probably going to DNF it. So yeah. The next question is, what book do you wish you had DNF'd? And that is A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. This is the book that really propelled me into being like, why did I finish that if I didn't like it? So, and I know I bring her up all the time, but it's always my answer. And this is not something I would have normally read for myself. I read it for book club and of course had heard only good things about it because I was watching a lot of fantasy YA booktubers because that seems to be the most popular on BookTube. So all of the reviews were great, and then I got it and suffered through almost 500 pages of a fantasy about fae that I absolutely do not like. So yeah. Do you ever reattempt to read a DNF? Has this been successful for you? So yes. So again, with Eleanor Oliphant, this was super successful, and I honestly think it was just me being a mood reader. I don't do like monthly TBRs. I don't really plan ahead what I'm reading, but for some reason I could not stop thinking about this and just like did not want to DNF it. I mean, unhaul it. So this is the exception, but most of the time, like I said before, it just goes away forever. The next question is, what do you do with books you DNF? I have a box that you can't see that's full of books that I am going to try to sell to a local bookstore, that like secondhand bookstore. If not, I give them away to friends who may like them more than me. I just did an unhaul video and my friend texted me and she's like, these are the books I want from you before you sell them. So that's totally fine with me. A lot of them I did finish, some of them I DNF, but like I said, I am trying very hard not to purchase books I don't think I'm going to like. So most of the time, like a lot of my books that I'm reading now are coming from my digital library, and it's great. And if I DNF a book, I just return it and put it on Goodreads as read and don't rate it. And the last question is, do you choose more or less risky titles because of your stance on DNF? In the beginning of my DNF journey, I was literally picking up anything and everything, and if I DNF'd it, so be it. But now, like I've said, I am just being like, okay, so this is the genre that I like. These are the authors that I like. This is what I think I am going to like, because I don't want to DNF a book. I want to sit there and escape into a good book and enjoy reading and not have to DNF, but that is not always the case. So it really depends. The moral of this story and my story and this tag is that I think DNFing is okay, and you can do whatever you want with however you read. And if you DNF a book, it doesn't make you a bad reader. It just means that the book didn't work for you, and that's okay. So I am a strong proponent of DNFing. I think it is reasonable and you should do it, and you shouldn't feel bad about it, and no one should make you feel bad about DNFing a book. And it's okay to put it in your Goodreads read if you want to. So that's it. Thanks for watching my video. The next videos coming up will be my end of the year videos, so stay tuned for that. Happy holidays. Have a good day. Bye.